Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to do face landmark detection using MediaPipe on live camera preview in native Android application. I'm using XML layout, but if you want you can use Jetpack Compose as well. So let me quickly run the application and show you guys the output first. Also make sure you have this repository open, because from this particular repository you just need to scroll down and you need to download this face landmarker TensorFlow Lite model, because we need to bundle this particular model with our Android application as well. So yeah, make sure you download this. Next I'll show you guys the output quickly. So here I have my running device, and I'll just give the camera permission first, and here you can see, okay, so it has able to detect. The lighting in my room is a little bit off, but here you can see it is able to detect pretty cleanly. If I move my mouth as well, it is able to detect the face landmark detection. So yeah, it's pretty good. Also if I completely move my face out of the camera, the face landmark detection gets cleared as well. So yeah, that's it. If I bring my face back, here you can see you are able to see the face landmark detection. So yeah, let's see how to do this. So first, like I said, you create an Android application. Just right click, create an assets folder. Don't create it manually, use Android Studio. So right click, new. You need to go to folders, assets folders, and just click on finish. It will create this assets folder, and inside this assets folder you need to drag and drop this face landmarker task or the TensorFlow Lite model, whatever this is, into the assets folder. Then just go to build.gradle.kts, and here I have added few dependencies. So first one is the MediaPipe task vision. Now so to check what is the latest version, you can just go to the GitHub repository, and here you can check in releases. Do not use Android Studio for this, because it gives some really weird version. Here you can see it says 2023 073. This is not the latest version. So yeah, make sure you use that GitHub repository which I have shown you. Then here we have added camera core, camera 2, camera lifecycle, as well as camera view. Then go to Android make sure you click on sync now, and it will download the dependencies for you. Go to Android manifest.xml, and here you can add this uses feature of Android hardware camera permission, as well as write external storage permission. Then you need to first create this overlay view Kotlin file. Now this even I have copy pasted it from the Android documentation. So firstly, these are all the imports. Here is our view, then here is the face landmarker result, then here we have the line paint as well as point paint, then this is the scale factor, image width and image height, then here we initialize our paint. This is the clear method which I showed you, right, when we move our face out of the camera. Then inside init paint we just set the color, stroke width, style for our line paint, and same for our point paint as well. Then inside the draw method we just check if the face landmark is null or empty. If not, then we just loop over that. We get the scale width and height of the image, then the offset x, offset y as well, and then we do face landmarks dot for each, draw the face landmarks as well as draw face connectors. Then here I call this draw face landmark, so we just loop over it and we just do canvas dot draw paint. Then this is for draw face. Again, each and every point is given by the MediaPipe library itself. We are just drawing over it, that's it. Then this is the start and end landmark, and we get start x, start y, end x, end y from it, and just draw a line based on that with the help of canvas. Then here we call set results. Then here we get our results. We set the image width and height. Then here is our scale factor as well. So this is for image and video. In case if you are interested, you can apply it for that as well, but here we are only doing it for our live stream. Then we invalidate it, and then we just do a landmark stroke width. Okay, this is just a companion object. Now you need to go to layout activity underscore main. So if you are using Jetpack Compose, you'll have to do it via Jetpack Compose. So here we first initialize our preview view, give it some ID, width and height is 0. We constrain it to all sides of the screen. Now here we initialize the overlay view which you have created. Make sure here you use your own package name, don't copy my package name. So this is the overlay view. Again, we give it some ID. This is the width and height is 0, and we constrain it to all sides of the screen. Then here is the face landmark helper class which we have defined. Again, these are all the imports, so feel free to copy the import. So here we first have this variables like face detection confidence, face tracking confidence. I have kept it the default values which we get for all of this. Okay, and running mode I have by default is image, but when we actually initialize this face land marker, I'll just quickly show it to you. Inside our main activity, over here you can see that we are passing it as live stream, so don't worry too much why we are passing image over here. So if you want to be just on the safer side, you can just remove this image and use live stream as well. Then here is our face land marker, and inside the init we just call this particular set of face land marker. This is the method for clearing face land marker. Here is our close method which returns based on if face land marker equal to null. Here inside setup we first define our base options depending on whether you want to use CPU or GPU, and here we just set the model asset path. Now this is the name which I will show you shortly where exactly we are using it. Then if it is live stream, if this is equal to null, then we throw exception, else we do nothing for video and image. Then we initialize our base options, then we do face land marker dot face land marker options dot builder, set the base options. Then here minimum face detection confidence, tracking confidence, face presence, how many faces you want to detect, then output face blend shapes, and set the running mode as well. And if it is live stream, then we do options builder dot set result listener as well as error listener, and then we create our options, pass it to our face land marker dot create from options. And here we are just handling the catch clauses over here as well as over here. Then this is the detect live stream method which we are using. So we just get the frame time, we get a bitmap, create a bitmap buffer, then we copy the pixels from our buffer, close the image proxy, then we do matrix dot apply, call the post rotate, and if it is front camera then apply this post scale as well. Then do bitmap dot create bitmap. So this is our rotated bitmap, then from which we create an MP image, then we pass the MP image to a detect async method. Then we just do face land marker dot detect async. Okay, and this is for detecting from a video file. I'm not really using it, so I'll simply scroll through this. If you want to use it, you can just copy this code from my from this video or from the official MediaPipe documentation as well. So I'll simply scroll through this quickly. Okay, so here we are passing height and width, and this is for detecting from an image. Okay, again I'll simply scroll through this as well. Then here we are returning the result from our live stream, right? So if the result dot face landmark is not equal to empty, then we get the finish time milliseconds as well as inference time. And here we just call the on results callback, from in which we just pass the result bundle. And here in case if there is no results, then we just call this on empty. Then here we are just in case of error, we are just returning error back, and this is the companion object. So basically all the variables are defined over here. Now important thing is, make sure the name of this face landmarker dot task matches with the one which you have inside the assets folder. In case if you have renamed it, make sure you rename it over here as well. Okay, and these are again some default variables which I'm using, and this is the data class for result bundle for sending data from face landmarker to main activity. This is the one for video, again we are not really using it, and these are the listeners. So we will be implementing this on the main activity. So we have this on error, on results as well as on empty. Then inside you just need to go to main activity. So that is okay. One more thing, if you see over here, I think I'm using one color dot color. Okay, maybe not in this one, maybe inside the overlay one. Yeah, so here you can see I'm using this MP color primary. So you need to define that. You can use whatever color you want. So I've just defined this color inside colors.xml as well. Now final main activity. So I'll simply again scroll up. These are all the imports. So yeah, feel free to pause the video and just again copy the imports. Then here we extend this face landmarker helper dot landmark listener. So here is our first face landmarker helper variable. Then this is the preview, image analyzer, camera provider, camera facing. So we are using the facing front. Then this is the delegate. So here we have just defined CPU, the default things which we want. Okay, I have not tried GPU, maybe you can try GPU as well. Then here is our background executor, here is our camera preview view, here is our overlay view as well. Then here we just request multiple permissions, and here we just check whether we have the permission. If we don't, then we just display a toast message, else we If we have the permission, we call setup camera. Then inside on create, we initialize the viewfinder as well as we initialize the overview. Then we initialize our background executor. Then we do background executor dot execute. We initialize our face landmarker, and here you can see inside running mode I'm passing live stream. Rest I have just using default values which we have defined earlier. Then if we have camera permission, then we call setup camera, else we call request permission. So inside request permission, we just call this activity result launcher dot launch. This is a method just to check whether we have the required permissions or not. Then inside setup camera, we get hold of our camera provider future. We add a listener, then we add it to our camera, initialize, like assign it to our camera provider. Then we call this bind camera use cases. Then here we first define our aspect ratio strategy. Then here is our resolution selector as well. Then here is our camera provider. Then we initialize the camera selector. Then here we initialize the preview view. Then here we initialize image analyzer as well. Okay, so we set the target rotation, back pressure strategy as well as output image format. Then we set the analyzer, and in which we call detect face method. Then we unbind our camera provider, we bind it to the life cycle. We finally set the surface provider as well. Now here we call this detect face method, where we just do face landmark helper dot detect live stream, passing the image proxy as well as the whether we are using the front camera or not. Here we override on configuration change, and depending on the viewfinder rotation, we assign it the rotation to image analyzer as well. Inside on resume, we just if it is closed, the face landmarker helper is closed, then we set up the face landmarker. Inside on pause, we just clear face landmarker, and inside on destroy, we just shut down our camera executor as well as await termination. Inside on error, so if you remember, we were implementing this listener, right? So that's why we are overriding on error, and inside on error, we just log it to the console. So you can handle error however you feel like. And once we get the results, we just send the results back to the overlay method, and we call invalidate every single time. And inside on empty, so we just clear our overlay, and these are some helpful variables which I have defined inside companion object related to the camera permission. And if you are using Android version less than equal to P, we also require write external storage permission as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.